to learn those exceptionalities. So I don't know if the exceptionalities is a right term or diversity is a right term, because we have a neurodiversity these days, right? So that's, really how we see it's about our perspectives. Our perspectives, our perceptions, how we see these children, okay? So I'm very excited. And this is a brand new class. Did you know that? Brand new class. And any of you, you don't have to say, any of you, because I'm taping right now. So, you guys need something and then you can, go back and just open this link and watch again. However, you make a noise. I know just, Rob, your voice is on, and then you make any little sound, and you will be big on the screen. Okay. So because it goes by just a sound. So right now, just everybody's mute, and then, me here. And when we need to talk and question, and then I'm gonna just turn off the video. So you guys don't have to be on YouTube. So everybody can see your beautiful, handsome faces. So this is a brand new class, and any of you are here as a special education minor? Raise your hand. No special education minors? So are you, okay, hold on. Okay, she's late. Okay, any of you, you are all elementary? You're all elementary, right? Alex, you're elementary. Rob, you too? Wow. Elementary school buildings, it's very hard to see male teachers. When I taught, we had only one male teacher. It's all females. And so it's great to have male teachers in elementary schools. And those boys, sometimes, we have, not male teachers, but in elementary school building, they have a male counselor or somebody male, and this as a staff. And those, boys, especially, a lot of behavioral, emotional issues, they really seek those male adults. It's just like a comforting. It's not just a gender thing. So it's more like they feel, I don't know. And maybe many children, especially large city schools, it's a neighborhood, it's very hard to see males. It's more females than males. So that's just, people dynamics in those some areas. So for those boys need to see male teachers, not just, only boys, but it's nice to have more. It's very rare to see males, but in special education, we have more male teachers. I don't know why, but we have more male teacher candidates. You guys are not teachers yet, but teacher candidates we have. So anyway, welcome to this class. This is a brand new class. I don't know, my 2 o'clock class, I asked them and then students didn't know that. So this is the first class, and this winter 2002, right? 2002 semesters. I'm the first professor teaching this class. I was waiting for this class for a long time because, as I said, only it's less than 5%, definitely 2 to 3% of children before kindergarten, they had disabilities. And then most of the children, let's say your kindergarten classroom, you have 30 children. They mostly look fine kids. Their eyes, you see them and you don't see much difference. Some kids, not much like grooming wise, that much organized, not nice haircut. We could see those, but look, they are all fine. However, in a few days, a few years, they are falling to special education. I'm not saying falling means just like down to the, falling to the hole. However, 3rd grade, we have 14% of students are receiving in special education services. 14%. It's more than 14%. It's 14.1 or 2 in 2020 or 2019 or 20 statistics. So can you believe that? It's much less than 5. Now, suddenly, in 2 to 3 years, skyrocketing third grade is 14%. And then it goes down slowly. And then age 14, it just suddenly dropped. And then I asked, when I taught intro special ed course, I asked them, why we suddenly have this drop. And many students believe that that's because of special education services are amazing. It's not, it's a school dropouts. So special ed children's school dropouts is much higher than general education teachers' school dropouts. They just got frustrated. Through my personal experiences, I taught in elementary school, self-contained classroom, and that classroom is pretty much cross-categorical. I don't know, this is one of, class you have to get used to those jargons we use once you are hired in school system, and then most of languages, especially in special education, is jargons. Okay, IEP, you heard about that IEP, FBA, so cross-categorical classroom. So those are resource room. I don't know, your, intro class professor, instructor got through all those jargon terms. I know you are familiar with those disability labels. However, cross-categorical means each category means a disability category. So one classroom is multiple disabilities together in one classroom. That's what we call cross-categorical self-contained classroom. So self-contained, I don't like this term. However, it's a self-contained classroom. So that means, all disability children. So one classroom is just a classroom teacher, is a special ed certified teacher, and everybody has somehow disabilities. So that's a self-contained classroom. And you guys will see that once you're in school building as a professional, teaching professional teachers, and then you will see every school building has at least 1 or 2 or 3, and then multiple self-contained classrooms. And so that's a special education classrooms. And you guys are not here to take this class to teach in self-contained classrooms. You guys are here taking this second special education course to teach in inclusive classroom. You heard about inclusion, right? So those classrooms have, I don't know, you guys may have 10% of your students have somehow labels, 20%, it's all up to your school district. Okay, and then you may teach co-teaching, so special ed and general education teachers together, but that happens mostly in secondary schools, secondary school buildings. So elementary teachers, pretty much you teach, you have 30 children in your classroom these days, your classroom size is much bigger than before because we have a huge shortage of school teachers right now. So it's good. All elementary teachers, until several years ago, a few years ago, you guys have to wait at least 2 to 3 years to find a job. Now, as soon as you graduate, then you're gonna find a job right away because most of the school buildings, they are just, they need teachers. So it's a huge teacher shortages out there right now. It's so odd, I don't know why. However, and then our, ITP, do you know, have you heard of ITP? That's initial teacher preparation. That's ITP. So initial teacher preparation program. You guys are right now in ITP program, so College of Education. You are juniors, you are admitted to College of Education, right? So you are admitted not to College of Education, you are admitted to ITP programs. So you are officially key teacher candidates. When you take a 251, it's not everybody just got admitted. Some got admitted, but still you could take that class. However, this is a method class. We call it a professional course. So you have to be admitted to College of Education. Okay, I know some of special education minors. I added those minors to this class because they have another class to have to take. It's a similar class, but enrollment is so low, so we had to cancel. But most of your teaching majors are, or I expected you all admitted to College of Education and ITP programs. So anyway, this is right now is a very I don't know, how to say, but very difficult time with all these, coronas, and then schools are demanding, teachers. And then I said ITP programs enrollment is critically low. When I came to the EMU, it was 2005. College of Education at that time, we had 8,000 students. And special ed itself is 1,000 students. And teacher ed had, I don't know it's how many. And then we have a leadership. It's a leadership and counseling. That department is, they are mostly just graduate students. So we had that teacher ed, special ed together is 8,000 students. And then our professors, full-time professors, over 100, most of classes taught by full-time professors. Now, those are just more than half of professors retired, and universities now, filling those positions. And then our student enrollment is really, really critically low. And then it's a whole nationwide phenomenon. However, Michigan is critically low. It's bottom second or something. Those dropping enrollment. And then nobody knows what is going on in our public education. So that is one of my book I'm right now working on and finish the draft. I'm still refining. If any of you have a good writing, editing skills, please let me know. And the name is the title I'm gonna put. It's a, I don't know, publisher will accept that, but it's a How Are You Doing American Public Education. That is my title. How are you doing public education, American public education? We are not doing fine. We are not doing fine. And we have huge teacher shortages. And then those 90% of these huge teacher shortages because of teacher attrition. So teachers quitting jobs. 90% of teacher shortages, teachers leave their profession, long prepped profession. Think about you guys. How many hours do you work to make money so you can support yourself? Or how many debts you're, piling up to pay tuitions, right? And then how many credits you're taking? You take way more credits than 120, that minimum credits for undergraduate degrees. That much you prepared, and then you started your job and very passionate, excited, and then within 5 years, 44% of you quit, leave your profession. Can you believe that? 44% within 5 years. That's a novice teaching time, not before you became really tenured professional and seasoned teachers yet. That much teaching job is tough. So why do you think the teaching job is that tough? So because our little children, K-12 children are wicked, evils, or teachers just are not patient enough, or they stop loving children. It is really like a dilemma. Because this ITP program time, you guys are in teacher preparation program, and you guys really need to prepare well to be a good teacher. Okay, so number one skill you need is a good teaching. Good teaching doesn't mean you understand your math teacher, science teacher, elementary teacher, you understand all those academics. That is just basic. Every teacher, just basic skills. Your number one teaching skill, good teaching means how many % of students in your classroom that you can embrace and teach and lead together, walk with you together, not leaving behind, not running ahead. You're lying together. How many %? Okay, 90% of what you're teaching, students understand and follow, we say that's an instructional level. 95% of what you're teaching, they take that we call is independent skill. Below 90%, we call it all frustration skills, frustration level. So how many % of your classroom students, when you teach a lesson and then follow your lesson? Over 90%. Because it's students of over 90% of of content you're teaching, they're following and understanding. They are not gonna be leaving behind. They're not gonna involve in any challenging behaviors and disruptive behaviors, off-task behaviors, because they are having fun from your teaching. Okay, they are having fun from your teaching. That teaching is not because you are using fun activities, fun, games, using technologies. No, they are understanding what you're teaching content. And then means they feel themselves very smart. They feel themselves very smart because they are following you, and then they just recognizing, feeling how smart they are. It's unconscious because we are humans. We have a big pride inside. They feel self-accomplishment, achievement. Some children never felt that in school until they met you as a teacher. Okay, when I taught to students in school, my 10 years olders, 11 years olders, 13, 14, up to 14, we could hold students in elementary school if they have disabilities. I'm not sure, right now it's just still same or not. It was heartbreaking to see them. They could learn to read in several months from me. Those children, it took for them 5 to 6 or 7 years to meet me. I just could not understand. I counted one day how many teachers they got through until they meet me, until they come to special education. Those 14 years older, think about them. They are in elementary school. Could you think about their pride? Their old neighborhood kids went to middle school and they are still in baby's school. How much anger inside them. And then they are not mature enough to hold all those angers inside, not showing, right? They all just explore those angers almost every day. So to them, every day is like a fighting against the teachers, against their peers. It's like a battlefield. That is, don't say this is only large city schools phenomenon. It's rough. I'm just threatening you. It seems like I'm threatening you, but I'm talking about the reality because it's totally different. You already know about it. Your perspectives, and you already know about it, and then you are different. But you never imagine the inside your mind, still, I love children, that beautiful, your passion inside. And then all your children, is a little darlings, angels. And then you go out and then you saw and then you meet. And then you just go to classroom visits and field experiences. And your heart is, just bouncing. You can't wait to go out and teach. So think about yourself. It's very good. But some of my students, first time they went out, it's a 200 level class. So we have a preclinical experience class. And I always had several students come to me and they told me, Dr. Ko, I'm leaving this profession. I'm going to nursing, and then I'm going to be just a pediatric nurse. So they love children. They come to teaching field, and then they went out and they got shocked. Probably that classroom was probably rough classroom, and teacher was very lenient, permissive or something, and chasing children just all day. They probably saw that. And then they just saw, okay, loving children and handling children is a different story. And they found early. And I just told them always, just good for you. Good for you. Because you found that early enough before you just went too far, and then you already just had all those credits and invested money and time and that much. It's very hard to leave, even though you found that later in senior years. So anyway, that's why you guys are taking this class, and then you see that reality is rough. Of course, you in Michigan, we have some rough areas, and then we have some good areas to teach. I always tell my special education students, if you believe yourself is a very good student, I just encourage them to go to large city schools, because those children are desperate to wait for good teachers. Okay, good teachers, not just good nursing teachers. Good teachers with good teaching skills. Okay, those children never met any adults encouraging them to get education and get out of here. They never met in their neighborhood, even including parents. They never seen any kind of those parents or adults. And then many of those children never been out of their neighborhood. Many parents don't have a car. One day in my just school bus, we went out to get through the suburban areas, and those houses were so red brick houses and gorgeous houses out there. And my children never seen those, never had those education and getting out of what's a life for those teenage, early teens. I told them, look outside. I pointed them, look outside, look at those houses. I yelled at my students inside the school bus, guys, you must go to high school, stay in high school, and then go to college. And then you can leave those big houses. Most of my students, children lived in just an apartment, 2-bedroom apartment, and then 6 children, and their, guardians, legal guardians, great aunt, and then those great aunts had several siblings, and then those grandkids together in those small apartments they live. And then I had to teach them just how to wash their uniform. We had uniforms with just like a hand wash. I told them, it's not laundry mat you have to go to wash and wait your parents to wash your clothes. You just when you take a shower in your shower, just have some soap and then just wash. And then I taught them how to do hand wash. I was young and we didn't have a washer, so everything is a hand wash. I still just do hand wash my underwears. It's easy. And then I don't want to just mix those to the outside clothes. So that's reality out there. So I really I beg my special education majors to just go to those areas and teach them. And then here is a different state. I thought it's urban schools and large city school district actually paid more than suburban school district. However, in Michigan, I found another schools pays the highest pay. So far I knew. I don't know. I didn't check the every county and school district. It's opposite. It's tough here. However, I'm sorry, I said this, but if you keep your mind, so any children you could teach, and those children, if you really love your children, it's not just your affection for little bodies. Your affection is just you really like to contribute to their future. You want to live in their heart. As one of the teachers really changed my life, because I know most of you all of you have that, hope and passion. You not just love children, you are here to change it, to make some changes in children's lives. So do you have all those goals? That is the meaning of your life, okay? It's the meaning of your profession. You want to be a teacher, it's not meaning. You want to be a teacher, it's just want to be a teacher, it's a goal. However, what you want to do as a teacher is a meaning of your life. It's amazing meaning because you are saving future citizens of these countries. You're saving the country. Is that too big to think about? It's good, right? It's just, because all these children think about those young lives. Who teach them out of home? It's teachers. Okay, they have all birth nature. Some kids have a good birth nature and their cognitive ability is really good. However, those children is only 25%. It's my statistics. It's not just like a science-based statistics. Some children have a good birth nature, however, weak nature there, right? So strong, weak combined. So some lucky children have a strong birth nature and then good nurture. And then together, that is absolutely wonderful children. Those children, even they don't need you guys. Because they don't go to school, still they are able to study themselves and parents are powerful enough to teach them. That's what, in the history, there was a Nobel class, right? Those Nobel class, top class kids. Parents are powerful, capable, and then children are capable. And then we have a very strong nature, but weak nurture there, home nurture. These kids, no guarantees they're gonna grow and show what they are born with. And then we have a weak nature and strong nurture. And then those parents are very knowledgeable. They have a good, strong beliefs in education. And then they saw their children saw something missing, and then they're gonna do their best. And then still it's a game. It could be they could grow better or not, because those good nurture does not mean those parents are very education oriented, they don't know, or they are very child oriented, permissive, protective parents actually do not teach them self-discipline. Instead of self-discipline, they just try to protect them. And then they just say everything yes and yes and yes, right? So good nurture is a different meaning of good nurture. And social foundation is very good. However, parents really teach those children be independent. That's a different story. And then we have children with a weak nature and then weak nurture. That is the worst case. Most of these children come to special education eventually, not in the beginning, but eventually, if they do not meet good teachers in kindergarten year and first grade year. Those kindergarten first grade years, those smart teachers see them, identify them right away, and then they know how to teach them some extra time, extra resources, and then some, special education teachers consulting and whatever just so they could have. They save those kids, and then they use children for 2 years, kindergarten year and first grade year, and then nothing but you guys just teach these children to read. Only I expect kindergarten, first grade teachers just have them read, okay? Teach them read. This is a written language, reading. That is what democratic hold these civil rights and whole world fought against the noble class, the people, top class with the power, because the written language was occupied by them. And then ordinary people, they could not read the Bible. So whatever priest said, they had to follow, right? Whatever king said, they follow, because there is no way you could check that's true or not, because ordinary people could not read. So now this world, we are all ordinary people, right? And then now we are free to approach those written language. The problem is we cannot teach these kids, these poor children. Those children with mild disabilities, you guys leaving behind and come to special education. That is 90% of these 14% of children. 90% of these 14% of children in special education are mild disabilities. To be honest, whatever labels they have, learning disability, mild intellectual disability, whatever labels they have, all their issues are reading. They are reading failures. Can you teach reading, please? This kindergarten and first grade, 2 grades. And then this country, really we need pre-K should be a public education from age 3. Because now modern society, parents are very busy. 2 parents both work, right? Without working, and you cannot maintain your ordinary above middle class or medium levels life, and to support your children. And then children grow so fast. And then we don't have a grandma's home, grandfather's home anymore, right? Very simplified family members. Many families just, we even, hard to see 3 children these days. Yes, we have exceptional families that still have 10 kids and 9 kids and multiple children. However, most of families have a maximum 1 to 3 children. That's it, right? And then school is the only place children could practice social skills and people skills with the same age children, where children can have these many same age children, same age peers. It's only school. So to reduce these disability numbers, to reduce those school education deficit, we have to start our education, free public education from age 3. That's my insist. And it's really important. And those 3-4 years older, they are amazing, their cognitive levels, and they can read. They can learn to read. And then by kindergarten year and then by first year grade, they could be fluent readers. Because you must teach children to read by the end of second grade. By the end of first grade, just read, but by the end of second grade, you have to make them fluent readers, chapter book readers, without pictures, okay? And then third grade is a knowledge learning. It's a specific knowledge learning. And then comprehension, it cannot build right away. It gotta build up. And then remember that those all picture books, young children's preschool's picture book, those vocabularies are very difficult. Those vocabularies are not for children, because those picture book, children's book authors don't believe those 2, 3, 4 years olders will read. That picture books are for adults. Adults read to children. Am I right? We didn't think about that, right? The easiest vocabulary starts from the first chapter book. Okay. I know Junie B. Jones' book has a lot of debates on that because of this spelling. However, my second son, he loved that funny book. And then that book, I appreciate that book and bow that book because he loved those funny books. And that book made him move on to chapter book from picture book. So it's very just each stage from the, where to move, but from the picture book to chapter book is one of the hardest stage as a parent to move on, because it's boring, right? So that means these children from that point, they move on to mental representation, visualization, mental movie. When they read the chapter book, they do not make mental movies. That means they are, losing the book. They just drop the book because it's not fun anymore. There is no picture support anymore, right? So they just read only text, words, and then while they are reading, they have to make a picture in their head. So they have to watch mental movie while reading through. They cannot make that. That's a comprehension, right? It's a literal comprehension. Literal comprehension, they make it. Mom went to the grocery store, and then they have to make their own moms driving to the grocery store. They could have those pictures. I drank a glass of milk. They could have, I'm making, having pouring milk to glass and drink. They could make those pictures, and then they can have fun, and then they're gonna read. So that's how we hold, children's comprehensions from the sensory level, and then those literal comprehension level, and then move on to abstract concept, abstract levels. That's a conceptual process. I made that term. Okay, again, sensory level is a sensory discrimination. You see, you name it. They see this watch or clock, they say it, but they don't know details. But they know this shape is a clock. That's in a sensory level. Toddlers and 3 years olders busy with learning those object names, right? See, pencil, no, pen. However, they only know pencils and everything. This stick is a pencil. And then later they see details, and then they know the function, and then they can sort out. That is already perceptual level. But in sensory level, 2 to 3 years older, so they see it, they name it, that's it. No details. And then, next level is that they see details, and then they can discriminate. Here 3 black pens, but they see details, and then they see this, and then they can say, and this is just pushing it on and off, and then this one, oh, it's a 3, it's a multiple colors here. So they see details from what age? So that's you guys gotta understand how they learn through. And then you guys can, teach it, because teaching how to read is a mechanical thing. It's not complicated. Okay, it's a mechanical. More difficult one is comprehension. We have to teach them to comprehend, and then they're gonna read. That is before 3rd grade. We have to do it, and then 3rd grade they move on to the conceptual level, and then abstract concepts, and they have fun, and then that's the intellectual fun they have. So that's in a wholesale. I don't know. It's very intensive. Intense. Things to talk. I know it's just like, oh my gosh, first class, she's talking about so heavy things. We thought we gotta talk about those intro class and what kind of class is this, and that's it. But I'm so excited to share all of this with you guys. I don't believe you have heard this kind of things. I know just you take many reading classes 1 and 2, and I know it's a 300 and 310, and secondary, and they have a different reading class. You are all in elementary level, grade level, I believe, and here. So this is just one thing you guys will learn from this class. Okay, so this class has 2 big poles. One is classroom student management. And then the other one is how to teach children not learning with your teaching method. The teaching method you learned in teacher education, those reading classes and math classes, okay? So that's what you guys will learn. So very just from the beginning, very just like, sensory levels, I'm just walking through you guys, and you have many, my lectures recorded in our Canvas, okay? And then you will watch it, not listen, okay? You're gonna watch my lectures. Think that you are having class. Like now, you have a class with me weekly, and the whole time you're gonna listen to me. I don't give you the chance to talk, right? Because I just talk first, and then I'm gonna later have those, Q&As. So think that, okay, this is a lot of demanding, and then I have to sit down and watch, and it's those lecture content is not familiar content. I'm telling you, because a lot of part is cognitive learning theory based, okay? So education is two theories, a behavioral one and then cognitive one. I see content-wise is cognitive, and then, method-wise is behavioral, okay? So these two, so one is because you do not take any classroom behavior management, it's just like, thinking about that is really, I just feel like awful, nervous. Because you never heard about how to manage classrooms and what is the classroom rules, procedures, and you have your own system, class-wide positive behavior support system. You don't have those systems. And then all those teachers with born gift, that born gift is not teaching skills, born gift in human management. A little bit bold personality, a little bit of dominant personality, and then charismatic personality. Actually, those teachers, you can see through my voice, right? This is a typical teacher's voice. A little bit high pitch, not highest, and then tone wide, and then talk, even though I have an accent, and then very clearly I try to say, especially important part. So naturally, nobody taught me to speak like that, because speaking is your habit, one of your habit. You are very fast speaker, you are slow speaker, your articulation is very clear, your articulation is not that clear, it's all your habits. But you teach in elementary school, you have to practice your speaking. You have to look at your mirror, or you turn on your phone and then look at yourself and then practice the speaking and then listen to you. And then you have to practice your writing, handwriting, okay? If I know, some people are handwriting is really awful, some people are good handwriting, and we say it's a penmanship, right? It is related to your fine motor skill as well. And then elementary teachers, I'm not talking about secondary teachers. Elementary teachers have to practice handwriting. When I was, in 20s and in teachers program, and then my master's here in the United States, we had a huge blackboard on the, wall in, College of Education. And students, whenever they have a spare time between classes, they just stick there and they practice the handwriting. So when you write, you do not show your back to your students. Always witness teacher, your eyes are all around. No matter what you did, you have to have your student entire class in your eyes. You see that what's going on. That's a number one classroom management skill, okay? So some people without even education and learning, they automatically do it. That's a born nature gift. And some teachers, they heard about this many times that they always forget. When they write, they just look at the board, and then students look behind their back obviously that classroom is your students are not that nice. They will have a lot of fun while you are writing, turning your back to them. So that is those simple little bitty things are all related to how good class you have. Again, when adults are monitoring students are not in, disruptive behaviors. Always they are not monitored and their teachers looks like ignorant and then just distracted by something and sitting at the computer and doing their own things and giving kids just sit work. Pretty much during those times, students are pretty much off task. So anyway, those classroom management and student management, I don't say behavior management. Behavior management is a student management. Okay, so we have a management itself. The management, I just try to find a different word, but there is no good word for them because it's a management, right? However, it's a part of communication. All those jargons we use is for the quick communication. So we have a student and behavior management is one pole, and then you guys will learn about this in a learning part. Okay, 2 big part, and then that's your assignment you guys will have. And I didn't open whole. Have you visited my Canvas shell? Did you just at least scan through and then not much there, right? You probably opened the, syllabus because you saw that, quiz on the syllabus. And then, I can't believe in Wednesday class, 2 students already took that quiz. I couldn't believe that. So anyway, not much I showed you that, opened it yet, but it's done there. And then I'm going to show you, and then one by one, I'm going to go through the Canvas, and then a few more things I'm going to just share with you. And then pretty much, our first class will be, done. And then, next class, just, one by one, I'm going to just go through. Let me share my screen. And again, I'm not asking you a question. Okay, I'm holding it later, and then I'm going to ask you later once, our video is done. And okay, guys, can you see my Canvas? It's good, right? Not good, not just itself, but you could see this Canvas. I know this, this is a 27 inches monitor. However, still, when I watch my lecture video, I see it's not clear enough, but okay, here is class meeting days. You already saw it. And then this video right now I'm taking, it is working. I'm transfer all my lectures to YouTube. It takes a lot of time for me to do that, but it will reduce your stress because many times this Zoom video does not work on certain browsers. And then just like you have a quiz and then only 2 hours left, and then you are really, stressful and shouting, yelling, and then you didn't know what to do. And then in the middle of the night, I just emailed me, and then obviously I could not see your emails. So anyway, every video is on YouTube, but I made a classroom video is all unlisted. However, this one I will be in public. That's why I'm not asking you, speak. Okay. So the class related lectures, because there are a lot of, PowerPoints and my book content there. And then sometimes I use my just chapter opened and I lectured, went through that. So it is kind of, my intellectual properties and not copyrighted yet. So that's why I made all my lectures unlisted on YouTube, but you guys have a link. So I connected the link here, and then you guys can open and click and see, okay? So this class lecture today will be below this one. So if you need any information you missed, and then because I'm pouring out information, you can just go back and see. And this is the first one. I didn't open this one because we are having first class, and that this first class content is more detailed than this one, so I'm not going to open this one, but you have a table of class content here, and you have a syllabus here. Okay, and you have a first quiz on the syllabus. That means I don't trust you guys reading syllabus. So you don't read the syllabus. What's wrong with me? It's nothing wrong with me. I'm fine. You guys will have difficulties because you don't understand what my proactive expectations. This syllabus has all of my, expectations, especially all these objectives, these boring things, you could read if you're interested, and then it's not, and then that's fine. But these instructor specific course policies, expectations, and student responsibilities. Okay, this is my proactive management for you guys from failing. I gave you what my expectations, very detailed, and then you will be, oh my gosh, you will keep doing that. However, this is based on, it's not beginning of my higher education, teacher education time, I studied this. No, I saw my students, because I had a fantasy in my student when I moved to higher education. When I taught my students in elementary school, I could teach only 10 to 15 students to read. Those IQs 55, 60, all my students, every single student, I made them read in several months. However, I found one day, I saw my whole schools and so many teachers failing these kids. And then what's the point of teaching these 10 to 15 kids? Let me go to the higher education and train teachers. If I train my teachers well, and then they will go out and teach, and then it's like I'm teaching thousands of children. Guess what? My students are too busy. You guys are too busy. I thought all of my student interest is just being best teachers, but that's their inside mind. However, their real life, they have to feed themselves. They have to, buy phones. They have to pay Wi-Fi. Especially these days, you guys have so many expenses, so much expense to spend. My 20s time, I didn't spend that much. Okay, so it's very hard. So it's to prevent my students ridiculous losing points from ridiculous things. That's why I made this long list, and you guys just make sure, and it's in the syllabus. So whenever you forgot, you can come back and you can check. Okay, so this is very long. I'm sorry, this is really long. That's why I gave you a quiz. I'm giving you points for that. And then you just look through this and then understand. Okay, so anyway, I have all of my lectures have a quiz. It's to make sure you guys feel if there is no quiz, you guys are not gonna, watch my lecture, and then you will fail in this class. Okay, all of my assignment, everything is, through these lectures and giving you knowledge, and then you can produce your assignment. So all of my classes, all these quizzes, quiz-based, these are all open-ended questions. So I'm not checking your just like a literal knowledge there. I want you guys watch it, not listen, because there is a visual aid. Watch my lecture. Longest one is almost 2 hours. Most of them is 130, 140 minutes lectures. So it's just shorter than my class time. Okay, so you have these open-ended questions, and then those questions, mostly I say, what is this? How is this? What Dr. Ko says this? And then what is your insight? What is your perspective? So does it make sense? So I'm using this quiz tool instead of you guys write, white blank Microsoft Word and then type. Instead of doing that, I'm giving you this quiz. So I'm using quiz tools. This is to give you guys a grade. Okay? Because your assignment, I have every single assignment, I have a template. It's still to prevent you guys silly mistakes. It's all templates there. All of my assignment is template based. So these template based ones, you guys pretty much, if you have energy and time and then enough thoroughly you work, most of you receive A. I see those poor content is by time. You just started work too late. Okay? My assignment, I'm saying that quiz, a regular assignment, it's not 2 to 3 hours work. I'm giving you warning. You have to make sure, open that template, have your, just look through, look into it and plan. My highest recommendation, because you guys are so busy with work, most of you are full-time worker. If you work more than 20 hours and more than 30 hours, you're full-time employees. And then you're full-time students. So you are amazing. I don't know how you could do that. Okay. Obviously, I did that too. And then I was a full-time mom as well. However, I really hope you guys are capable to do both 100% well. Okay. So just only way you could survive while doing both full-time is playing game very early ahead. Don't just push it to last minute. Okay. So about 2 weeks ahead, see what you are having. And then every single assignment, you have my lectures there. I give you detailed directions there and then guidelines there. You don't watch my lecture because you don't have time. And then pretty much you will have a poor submissions and then my grading will be really harsh on that. Because that is how you present, demonstrate your learning. However, these quizzes, I'm not saying you can do poorly on quizzes. However, these quizzes, I want you guys not too much, focus on details, literally details. Does it make sense? I want you guys to listen, just follow contextual flow. What overall Dr. Ko tried to say through this? What is her message? So when you read the quiz questions, it's the same. When you listen to, and then when you read, not in your side, you have to see that writer's side. And then it will increase your comprehension. When you don't understand the quiz questions, think about, what is Dr. Ko trying to say through this? Instead of saying, oh my gosh, she wrote so funny. This doesn't make sense. That is fine. You can ask me, Dr. Ko, what you try to say through this. And then I really just appreciate you pinpoint about my mistake. I'm not perfect person. I'm not AI. I'm still making mistakes. So please feel free to let me know, point out, Dr. Ko, you made this and that, and it doesn't make sense to me. And then I will appreciate that. So anyway, my lectures, again, please do not try to memorize any. You don't have a multiple choice questions. This is not test. Okay? So just a whole thing here is, first one is, I said, perspectives on ability and disability. So you can say, ability and disability, I said the perspectives. So you could say what a little bit you can guess, right? She's comparing ability and disability. And then she didn't say what is ability, what is disability. She said perspectives. So that is pretty much, it's like how we take ability and how we take disability. What kind of perspectives as a teacher, me as a teacher, I gotta take it and understand. Okay, so that's how you see. I want you guys to see whole big picture of this topic and understand. And then later you watched this one, and then you could tell your boyfriend and girlfriend, your wife or your children or whoever, your friend, you could talk about it. It seems like it's yours. Does it make sense? Yeah, when we say about the ability, when we say about the disability, actually what disability means, you could say about it. So that's a whole my lecture, and I expect from my students. Okay, the point is 1 point question. Still, you could provide like some students like 3 pages amount, and some students like a few lines. And then based on the question, those don't look at the point. I really hope you guys are enjoying this intellectual challenges and adventures, and all these content. It's different, but you don't have to agree. Many parts you don't have to agree. However, this is one of our perspectives. Okay, switching gears, you could think about it. Okay, so school education and special education, right? Here is the ability and disability, it's about the child. And then when we talk about school education, special education, we are seeing the children as a student. So, and then these are 2 intro, and then this one is a teacher efficacy and student management. I'm talking about the student management here. And then a lot of method I'm talking about here. And then classroom management. This is about your first real assignment. Okay, this assignment is February 8th, so you're gonna submit. And then this is a classroom management. I remember this one is almost 2 hours lecture. Very, very detailed. And then there are what I'm using. I believe I used my 1 chapter, my book. And there are some examples there. I'm explaining what classroom rules so you are not supposed to use and you are supposed to use. So you don't listen to me, and then you're gonna have those rules. So in this paper, I said these are not the rules you're not supposed to use, but you put that rule there because you didn't listen. You saw it in my lecture, screen. So you have to learn. This is your learning. Okay, you pay the tuition. Please, you pay the tuition to learn. Take my knowledge in my head to your knowledge and to your head. That's why you are taking this class. Of course, you are required to take this class. However, every single class, the Michigan Department of Education required you guys to take. You must have these knowledges. This new class is by the Michigan Department of Education. It said the 2nd special education course must cover classroom behavior management and inclusive teaching. Okay, so academic teaching to the exceptionalities. That's by Michigan. So that means Michigan State, so many teachers are struggling with that. That's why they added this. So it's all to protect you guys and protect your students. But more I see is to protect the teachers. Of course, to make you guys teach well so they can have a students' achievement and outcomes. However, they want to protect you guys from quitting your job. And you work wonderfully, and then you must feel your own self-achievement, accomplishment. You have to get your self-competence, self-efficacy. And then you will have a happy life. You are human beings with a big pride. There is no human beings enjoy their life without feeling that from what they are doing. Okay, it's not about the, you work as a janitor, you work as a street sweeper, cleaner, still you have a big meaning there, and then you're happy, you're passionate. So it's not just like what profession you are in. You have to have those meanings. So these are not to torture teachers, because state government saw so many teachers quitting, not because they cannot teach children because of that classroom behavior management. They are lack of those skills. So they prepared to be a teacher long time, invested a lot of money and time, and they quitting that job. Okay, so just seriously take each class, please. Okay, that is part of your self-discipline, self-management, and then you will teach your students about self-discipline. So these are the one, and then remember, these are my lectures. Since it's not big thing, you just passively sit down and then watch my lecture. That's a passive learning, right? And then you take a quiz. So it is every 3 to 4 days you have one. I'm sorry, I just had to make this because it's a lot of content. It's 2 classes combined. One Michigan State asked it's intro special education, one classroom behavior management, one inclusive teaching. Because of you guys have a lot to take in elementary, they could not give 3 special ed courses to you guys. That's why we combined 2 to 1. Okay, that's why I teach classroom behavior management in special education. And then I teach curriculum and instruction in special education. I combined those 2 classes, the whole winter time, sitting in this my cave over 10 hours. I was in big dilemma. You can imagine how many times I changed this canvas. Because to put all those, and then you could not breathe. You cannot breathe. So I have to extract, and then I added, extract that much. I struggled a lot to have a lot of information I have to share with you. However, literally you cannot take that many because you have other classes to take too. Still it's a lot. So this lecture, listening and quizzes is more like a passive learning. It's not a lot of work. However, you have to invest good time. So I made this. Okay, so every 3 to 4 days, you have quizzes, very busy. And most of other classes in the beginning, you don't have that many assignments in the beginning. That's why I made in the beginning, make you guys busy. Okay, so these and lectures here, and then this is done with our classroom behavior management here, and then later you're gonna do again. But these are the lectures about the teaching related. It's pretty much its ground, sensory pathway, attention. I said remediation, and then you take a quiz. And then diagnostic instruction for visual attention. Visual attention is very important, okay? It's all I'm talking about the children's basic mental ground, the cognitive ground I'm talking about. It will help your teaching your general typical children, okay? And then these are the all knowledge, it's cognitive foundations. And then here, where instruction and perceptual process and deficits, and then diagnostic instructions. It seems like I'm talking about all, just cognitive part. No, because literacy and numeracy is a part of that. It's a part of a visual perception. And just, when students don't have those visual perception include visual memory, visual sequential memory, okay, figure ground, visual spatial. It's all about the learning, academic learning, because pretty much about 80% we are learning through visual processing. Okay, so that's the one. And then here, I didn't open this one yet because I don't want to overwhelm you guys without knowing what's going on. And it's, oh my gosh, it's too much. So I'm just opening one by one. Here, you guys will have 20 hours field, 20 field hours. And I know many of you, since in junior or just, I don't know, we have seniors here, you guys have already field hours and you can double dip, but you cannot ask a sign from both the teachers, no, both professors. Okay, so you do like your reading, your own elementary school reading class, curriculum class, you have already those hours, so you can do this field work during those hours. And then they counted your hours already, and then don't ask me to sign your preclinical hour, field hour signing sheet. So what I'm saying is, as long as you do this assignment, and then you can double dip those hours. However, while you are doing that, and then I know your reading curriculum class, they have a lot of assignment, requirement there. You cannot do both together. You may just have to, somehow just save time and then hours and minutes and then to do this. You wanna do data collection. I have a specific assignment for that. Okay, so you're gonna do data collection based these 4 student study and environmental factors, and then you're gonna do cognitive foundation, and then you're gonna do literacy and numeracy, this reading and math based very early, literacy and numeracy, and then you're gonna do behavior part. So these, collection of these one section is about data collection. Okay. This one, let's say, it's all template based. So it's not anecdotal. You guys do just what you want to do. It's all, this student study, you see, it's basically, student names. And then here is a recorder and position. Position is you don't have to fill out position since you're not, there in-service teacher yet. And so these are just pretty much student personality trait. So you just print out this one and then just get familiar with these questions, the items, screening items, and then you can put, and some of the information you have to ask the teacher to know, some of the, information so you could see through your observation, and some of the content you have to sit down with a child and do teaching, and then you can get. Okay, these are the basic democratic information. Environmental factor analysis is about the learning environment, is about the children's right now, the classroom environment. Okay, here's the teacher type. And then I have a long list of teacher efficacy and proficiency. It is about the teacher you are observing. However, please do not share this with the teacher. You are not observing, and then you are not judging, evaluate those teachers. So this is for your learning. Okay, eventually you see this and then, oh, these are all efficacy about and I should have. However, instead of you read it through and then that's it, but you go out and observe and check, it's a real learning. That's why I'm asking you to do this data collection. Does it make sense? So if you share with this with the teacher, and then that teacher may feel very offensive because of the teacher is, you are evaluating me? You don't feel good about that, okay? So you don't have to disclose the teacher's name or anything. And then you provide the logo information. Okay, I forgot about, later I'm gonna share this one. But, I don't know those teachers. And I don't care if I know those teachers, I already know that teachers. If my previous students out there, a lot of my previous students as well. So I know them. So don't worry about it. It's just like, you watch the teacher. I mean, what I'm saying is like, you don't have to fill out this one while you are there. You come home and then you just can fill this one out. Before you go out, you just read the items, what kind of items you need to fill out, and then you can just see what's, 5 hours, 10 hours, 15 hours, and then you get to know the teacher a lot, and then you could fill out this one. Okay, so this is for your learning, and then because the teacher and parents and classroom environment are all environmental factors, so that's what I try to teach you guys. These kind of environmental factors affect children's school failure, okay, school education deficits, and then parents' information here. And you don't know those parents, of course. However, I added this one. I didn't remove this one because it's a part of your learning. So what kind of parents, factors could affect children's learning? Okay, so that's here. And then this is pretty much the first submission in February something. I have to check the date. Here, February 25th. So, okay, so you do not wait until that time, but do not start now. Okay, you don't have an instrument with you yet. I hid all this. So you gotta wait, and then you just settle down in your semester and other classes, and then each class you feel good about it, and then you know what to expect, all that. And then about January, just like a third week, a fourth week, or beginning of February, you could start. It's just 20 hours, and then just, I believe it's based on your schedule, personal schedule, your work hours, I know, but just reasonably you spread them out. And these are the all like this, all has a template. So it's all checklist based. Let me open this one. This one is a little bit different from previous one, but rest of them is the same. This like this, you mark here X or whatever, and then you could give a comment here. Let's say under sensitivity, and then I gave you what under sensitivity means. Okay, under sensitivity modulation is number one, the most part for students to learn and follow your teaching. Right now, you're not here, your body's here, but you're mentally gone. That means you're under sensitivity. Okay, so the sensitivity and attention pretty much is reciprocal. So sensitivity is consciously you're following, you're learning. So you could see any of you have experience with autism, and then they script and they just flapping and self-stimulatory behaviors they involved while that time they're under sensitivity. It's because of this under sensitivity, pretty much they're just a kind of glass walls between them and world. They see, but they don't respond. They hear, they don't respond because they don't register. Okay, they have a sensory organs. Those sensory organs, sensory information is not going through their sensory organs. It's hid and gone. So when you think about that, when you're absent-minded, your friend call you, you don't hear, right? So that's a temporary things for you guys. However, those children with the disabilities, that's kind of, not temporarily, just short-term things. So it's just for them, it's like pretty much just a whole day like that, their waking time. So that's, sensitivity, it's their deficit and disability. Still, we can work on this, and that's, our special educators do, and we wake them up to be aware, and we work on that. So these are the, what I'm saying is that you have a space here. This is for marking. This is a space. Okay. And then everything I gave you, this is gray words. It's a kind of a supporting explanations, examples of what you can do with a child. So some of content, you have to sit down with a child one-to-one, and then you have to teach the child and then you just put. So testing is not just get to know what child right now can answer. It's not. You work with the child and then see child response and then how they use screen. Okay, so this is pretty much like that. So most of the content I have just these supporting examples of what you can do when you just to know about this. So it's there. So no worries. It's a very self-directory and you could do by yourself. So okay, and then attention, and it will be this instrument itself. My goal is you guys to know about these items. When children don't have these, and then no matter how wonderfully you teach, they don't learn from your lessons. It's not because your teaching method is ugly or just inefficient. You teach really, really well, still it doesn't go through their brain. It's cognitive work. So they don't process. Right now I'm talking this much. You guys are not processing what I'm saying. And then there is no learning. And then you don't remember what I said, right? So it's like the same. It's children, you. However, you are adults and then you are in higher education. So you got through all those college, high school study, and then you took a test, and then you proved your intelligence. So these are more like temporary things. But many children with the behavior disabilities, they have this tendency. So as a teacher, you gotta understand this, and then you can understand your students why not following your lessons. So that's basically what it's about. Okay. So this is the all data collections. So once this is open, I'm gonna open this one about third or fourth week of January, and then you can have a full. However, before I believe I had one. This is the letters for the classroom teachers. So your letter is here, my letter is here, because many classroom teachers will ask you what is about. What am I supposed to do? They're going to ask you, and then you said, I don't know. My professor said I have to do data collection. And then what data collection you going to do? So those questions. So you read this letter, you can explain to the teacher, or you can print this one out, and then you can give the teacher while you are just adding some explanation. Teachers are really busy guys. You cannot add yourself as their burden. You cannot burden them, okay? Teachers have you, and then they believe you're going to help them. Not really. They have to spend a lot of time on you guys. So just be careful. And then log is a teacher signature. Log means your time in, time out time. And just be careful. If you have any traffic jam or anything, you just get 10 minutes late, and honestly put that exact your arrival time. Okay. And then it's okay. Just I said 20 minutes and then you made about, 19 hours. It's okay. Just don't, lie or anything. You just honestly put the hours exactly you arrived, you left. If you just arrived, but you're always the agreed time is 9 to 10, and then you put the 19:10, even though you just 10 minutes 15 minutes late, and then that teacher feels really, really uncomfortable when they signed. And then if it's repeated, and then they're going to contact me, and then that could be academic misconduct. Okay, so just honestly say, and then I have a cushions, and the teacher had that, so no worries about that. Okay, and then just be honest. One student didn't attend, today 2 o'clock class. She just sent me email. Honestly, she said she totally forgot. It could happen. It's a first class. I honestly understand her because it can happen. Right? However, you just may just say some excuses with something else, and then it's not really good because we all know we are teachers. So anyway, that's one thing. So about the this data collection part, you finish all these data collection. So number one, my goal is to let you learn about these screening items. Okay, itself is very important items you guys understand and learn. And then after that is a final project. So final project is you did all data collection, and then now you're gonna show, how this is about the final project. One is about the instructional part, and then final project 2 is like a combined. I just divided the 2 and then made you guys 2 submissions. So one is the instructional part. You're gonna develop and shaping procedures, and of course, just all just lectures there. So you will follow, what you're supposed to. And then second one is just combine the rest of the part you're gonna add about the behavior part. Okay, so I'm not asking you to do behavior like independent behavior, classroom behavior management assignment that much. It is 1/3 of those portions. So I'm more emphasized about the classroom management part. That's you guys will do. And then behavior management and students coming to your classroom with a functional behavior assessment, that behavior management part from the special education. And then special education teachers will help you guys, and then you guys will work together collaboratively. Okay, so you just learn about those parts. So pretty much these are all about this assignment, not assignment, the whole class settings. And let me see here. I removed that. Interesting. And let me see this, one and no class. And then, okay. So you see this special education, I gave you this table of content. I'm sorry, I'm just not giving you a break. It's 7 o'clock and we started at 5:30. Do you need a break, or we can go ahead? I believe about 20-30 minutes more and then pretty much we are done. Do you need a break? You're all fine? Not? No response. You pretty much feel dizzy because it's a lot of information to digest. But okay, just let's do about 20-30 more minutes, okay? And then we're gonna finish, and then I'm gonna turn off, and then we're gonna have a Q&A, okay? So pretty much this is the 4 sections of what we have in this class. Knowledge learning is pretty much all about the lectures and then quiz. Again, this quiz is, I hope you guys have enough content and understanding, and then put the words. And then I'm not gonna focus you gave right or wrong answers. Number 1 requirement, you must listen to my lecture, watch my lecture. You're not gonna have all these answers from Google and just check instead of listening to, watching my lectures. Okay, so that's number 1. And then I really hope see you guys just, understand and have your own just, thought and perspectives and all that. And then field work. And then I said 20 hours. And then some items you need to sit down and do one-to-one screening. Some of the items you could watch and you could do it. Okay, so screening instrument is all there. You could just look, and I believe I made lecture about the whole screening. Okay, whole screening instrument. So you guys could have ideas in the concepts I had. I had that. And then class-wide PBS is positive behavior support. So it's a jargon PBS. I believe you heard about this PBS, and then you're gonna, develop your own school system. You're just a PBS system for your future classroom. So it has a 6 components, and then you're gonna develop your classroom design and rules and procedures, expectations, reinforcer, menus, and then finally, just you want to make, class-wide PBS system, okay? And then final project. So we have a clinical instruction part, and then we have a behavior shaping procedures. All these, my lectures cover all these. Okay, with the knowledge, and then all these, and then there is, assignment guidelines there. So check that again. I believe all of my students have capabilities and abilities. Only the matter of good students with outstanding work, and then really weak students with poor work is depend on how much time they invest for the class and each assignment. That's how I see it. Okay, we don't have those students because we are just low IQ, you could not follow. It's not that. It's all about the attention and how much you just seriously take classes. Okay, so that's the one. And those screening, basically just your deficiency screening, what you're gonna do, go out, and then all this is what kind of weaknesses a child has. So that's what you're gonna do. Okay, environmental factors is like their failing behaviors or that, and then those cognitive foundation, ability, and then academics, and then behavioral part. And then you're gonna develop what to do, how to do. You're gonna do one item per this, you're gonna make a one set. It's all there, just goals and objectives, and then procedures. It's all just there. Templates has it, so you just follow templates. Okay. And this is all about the, still just, data collections. And then last one, this Canvas course shell is what you're gonna live on. Okay, all information's there. This is our platform, so you guys work on. And then Canvas notification. If any of you did not make a Canvas notification every time, so that means I announce something, you receive right away through your email. And I left any comment for your assignment when I grade, it goes to you right away. Okay, so it's like instantly you receive a notice, and then my notification, my syllabus has the direction how to, adjust, make that. If you don't know how to do it, and then just contact, e-learning, and then they will explain to you how to do it. It's very simple. Okay. And then instructors policy, I already talked about this. And all assignment 2 weeks advanced, please see this, have a notification, get just ahead. And when I was a teacher and then doctoral student, when I taught, I was a doctoral student, and then I was a mom of 2 kids, and then my husband to me is like my third child. So 3 males I had in my home. Okay, and then full-time work, classroom teacher. I was so, do you know what is the number one worry I had? If I get sick. If I get sick, and then I have to miss my class at school, right? I cannot miss my school. That was the number one worry. So I played all games very advanced. And then semester is like a 3.5 almost, right? I had literally 3 calendars, and then my binder had just both sides. I had it. I put down all assignment deadlines there. That's how I did not forget, and I could play. And then when I had a test midterm, I started organize those potential answers about a month ahead. I started to memorize from that point, because I knew I don't have a big chunk of time to study while waiting for my my children from swimming, and then I just study there, and that's how I survived. I survived. You guys will survive. Okay, so it's all about the self-discipline and how you are organized, and you have to practice that, because you have to teach these to your students. And when you observe your students are not organized, And then you cannot stand that. That is, we say, executive function. Have you heard about that word? Executive function? Please, if you don't know that word, please just Google it, see. We have to teach our students executive functioning, how they do executive function. Teachers do not have this, and then their life messed up because you guys have enough, but later, when you make your own family, and I'm sorry, just I assumed, all of you are just early 20s. I know, many of you are not. However, you already have your own family, you have your kids, so you are just like just a multiple intelligence, and then you have to be multiple intelligence as a person, job, students, daddy, mom, and children, and it's really, so that's only you could survive with your executive function, that higher order, cognition. And you have to practice, and then you have to make your student practice that. Okay, so that's the only way you could survive. And I said, set the goal. A teacher, if you just, okay, I'm gonna be a teacher, I'm here to be a teacher, or you are here to be a good teacher. Good teacher. And then this is my goal. I'm not, to be honest, I don't have to prepare the class this much. Just all you're gonna see my PowerPoint, how much I put my energy and time to make those PowerPoint. My PowerPoint, you guys are not gonna see like this kind of, writing that much. Most of our professors' PowerPoints like this. Very rare. My PowerPoint is pretty much, I already conceptualized, so you guys can cognitively process well. I conceptualized all of my PowerPoint like this. Not much you see. However, while you are listening to me and then you see this, and then you can follow and understand, so you can save your time to, if I don't provide this, and then you guys have to do this. That's why child-centered education, hands-on learning is really, really fail many, many children. Why? You do not teach directly what that you want to teach. You do those hands-on teaching, and then you make children figure out and conceptualize this. That's why I see one of the reasons I talked to this in my one of the lectures. Okay, so this is my goal, and then I really hope you guys prepare well. And then after graduation, you go out, you just enjoy your job as much I enjoyed my job as a teacher. It was tough to teach in large city schools with those children. I still don't forget them. And then I told them many times, like as a joke, who made you read? And then I told them, that one old ugly Chinese lady, because that was my nickname. My children in the beginning year, even my co-teachers called me. They just hated me in the beginning because I'm so unfamiliar. And they never seen this Asian face before. So they said, hola. I even didn't know what hola means at the time. And then later my son told me, Mom, they believe you're Mexican. That's how I learned. So to those kids, those Spanish speaking people, the foreigners, that's how I started. And all those moms, you know how much they were nervous about me because I'm not familiar. We are not familiar, and then we are nervous, right? So that's how I started. But from second year, third year, I earned their trust because they knew how much I tried to teach their kids, their children. So I really hope you guys that much fun and make a meaning in your life. And then you look back in my age, you became my age with gray hair and almost 60. And then you look back to your, time, past the time, you don't feel shame about yourself. I don't want to go back any my previous lifetime, because I did my best every single moment in my life. Yes, I made a lot of mistakes, a lot of things, but I had won my, I don't know what do we say, just philosophy or one thing. I just in my 20s, I told to myself, I'm not gonna make any 1 minute I regret later and wanna go back to, and then remake my life, refresh, rewind. I don't have any those moments. So you guys, it doesn't matter, I'm not saying you make a perfect life. However, you do best, even though you were not successful, but it was honest failure. But you did what your capacity, you did your best, and then you're okay. And then that's the meaning of why you are born to this world. Okay. And then I really appreciate you guys chose this teaching field. And then you guys go out to teach those many, many desperate children waiting for you guys. Okay. Think about those, Helen Keller, those Sullivan, that teacher did not see inside Helen Keller's potential intelligence. And then around her, including her parents, they all saw her helpless, severely disabled child, could not see the world, could not hear. One teacher saw her inside. That was Sullivan, Anne Sullivan. Without that teacher, Helen Keller is not in our history, right? Do you think it's a fantasy? No. That is the meaning of what we gotta learn from her. It's not because she had the teaching skills. She could teach Helen Keller. It's not. She saw inside Helen Keller that other people, even though Helen's parents didn't see. Everybody saw her helpless because she had very, very wild behaviors and then severe, disabilities. However, Sullivan saw her wild behavior as intelligence. Because she's not intelligent, she could not communicate. She could not learn how to communicate with the world. Her wild behavior is to get others' attention because she could not speak, right? So she used the behavioral communication. And then Sullivan saw that as an intelligence. She's smart. She just could not show that. That one teacher. I see her, Sullivan, it's not because she could teach those severely disabled girl. It's not that. I amazed by Helen, Sullivan because she saw inside Helen Keller. And she did not leave. She did not leave, and she worked on her because she saw the bright side of it. Right? I really hope you guys be like that. Okay, every year you start your class and then you shouldn't wear when you just have a summer and then dismiss them for a summer break, and how far you increase their skills. Especially you don't have to worry about those good smart kids. However, children behind and those delayed children. You saw them, and then that's what I see. Your teaching ability is how many more children's behind you could bring them up to your line and then go together, and then have them just have those capability. So next year they could follow that teacher, different teacher. Okay, and this is all I have today. It's 7:24. So we studied 5:30, so about 2 hours. And My website Canvas, so it's very like a self-directory, so you guys could follow. However, I made 5 more meetings to see, and then you guys are doing okay, and just any questions, and at the time, any content you guys need, and just let me know, what you guys have, and then we're gonna talk about that, okay? And I'm gonna stop share this one, and then I'm gonna stop recording.